Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Subnautica below zero. I know I don't usually start in the menu, but I came here just because I wanted to point out there's been a new update, the Salad Days update, which I believe is actually a Shakespearean phrase. But anyway, saves still work. This is a new opening screen. Previously, it was that big frozen river with the big frozen, what's it called? Waterfall. That's the word I'm looking for. Big frozen waterfall in front of it. So this has changed. I don't know what this ship is. I don't know if this is the ship we came from. I would assume so, because this thing up here on the right, just to the left of the bottom of my camera, that's the life pod. And I think that's the ship we crashed here on. That's the ship that's still on the island. So I think this is the ship we came from originally, which is, I must say, a cool looking thing. That's really cool. And it's really nice to see a piece, like a ship in this world that isn't this sort of super sleek curved thing, because as much as I really like the curvy design of the Aurora and the life pods and all the other stuff we see, this is a really cool design to see as well. It's really sort of utilitarian and really solid. I really like this design. But anyway, that's beside the point. New update, which means we've got some new things that we want to be looking in for. Okay, so the main stuff that seems to be new in the update is the snow stalkers have been improved. They actually stalk you now, which is a bit scary. But it's a good thing we've still got the snow fogs, because that probably means we'll be able to run away from them. There's apparently a new biome called the iceberg zone. There's apparently a bridge somewhere that needs to be built, which is exciting. I don't know if it's that big bridge that we saw on the island, not far from where we've built our staging ground with the snow fox. It might be that bridge that they've now sort of deconstructed, so that you have to put some resources into accessing that part of the island. I don't know. There's also apparently something called a recyclotron, which is useful for turning produced stuff back into raw materials. And there's also a greenhouse somewhere which has plants in it. Right, let me get rid of that. So that is some of, if not all of, the new stuff in the update. I don't really know precisely what's in the new update. But the main objective of this episode is going to be to go around and have a look at some of this new stuff. We're going to see if we can find the iceberg zone. I've got no idea where it is. That's going to be kind of tricky. We'll definitely try and find the bridge. If we run into a snowstorm while we're there, I'll do a little bit of observation, see if I can figure out how they've changed. Yeah, that's the main point of this episode. Let's explore this new update. Also, one other thing is, in the control room, this is more evidence that I'm really dumb. In the control room, there is a modification screen where we named the base, if you remember, a few episodes ago. What I didn't realise then, because I was so confused by the whole naming system, because I thought there was a ship in it, which there wasn't. What there is a colour customization, and I think we can actually paint our base, which is going to be really cool. So that's going to be the first thing that we look into. Also, I apologise if I suddenly sound a little bit different. Oh, fantastic. I apologise if I sound a tiny bit different than normal. I've moved over from having the microphone clipped to me to having it on a stand, which means I can now do stuff like this, and it doesn't sound all horrible for you, which is lovely. Okay, so let's have a see. Yes, here we are, this thing. Okay, so can I... Oh... Okay, can I make this colourful? Oh, here we go. Okay, so if I wanted like a blue base, done. Whoa, not that. Hang on. Whoa. Xeno works. Ooh. Okay, does that mean I've painted the base a dark blue colour now? Please tell me that's the case. Oh yes. Oh, that is. Wah! Oh dear, I got so excited I got my bum bitten off. Okay, right, never mind any of that. Let me gather some supplies, get some stuff together, and we'll go to the island and see if we can find this bridge. Oh, hang on, this is different. Oh no, wait, that isn't different. Oh! You can make a thermos. Okay, that's surprising. I thought you would have needed the coffee machine to make that. Okay, apparently you can now make the thermoses outside of coffee machines. Okay, that's weird. I'm confused.
Vital signs.
We'll leave the tether tool here for the time being. I can't see it being any use. Actually, though, I doubt that they have, because I imagine they would have mentioned it. Mind you, they didn't talk about bug fixes. I don't suppose they fixed the tether tool battery problem, have they? Ah! No, they haven't fixed the battery problem. Okay, I'm sorry. I meant to look that up. I did, honestly. but I completely forgot. I completely forgot because I'm an idiot. I completely forgot to look that up and find out whether that is a bug or whether I'm doing something wrong. So I'm sorry about that. I'm an idiot. Okie dokie, right. Off to the island we go after spending far too long replenishing our food and water supplies because I discovered I don't know. Never mind. I'm not an idiot. Oh wait, that's exactly what I am. This isn't the iceberg zone, is it? I don't know. I can see the Grand Total Diddly Squat up there. I don't know. It seems a little bit different to what it was before. What under the sun is this? What is this? It's a massive cable, I think, I assume. Why is there a massive precursor cable here? What's up there? I say. I guess this is the icebergs. I mean, I guess it would make sense. These are icebergs. What's up here? Oh, great. I can't see anything because the snowstorm. Have I got me snow camera on? Oh, yeah, this is another thing they were talking about. Your character reacts to the environment more now, apparently. Yeah, I'm walking slower and my hand goes in front of my face sometimes. What is this? Where does this go? Ice. Oh, this is leading somewhere, but I cannot afford to be out here in this weather. Oh, right, never mind. I'll wait for the storm to pass, and then I'll not move because I'm trying to swim through an iceberg. Oh gosh. And then I will then we'll have a proper explore when the storm's cleared. Okay, I think the worst of the storm has cleared, at least. At least certainly the visual stuff that was in the way has cleared. I say, this is fascinating. I can't scan any of this, but it really is fascinating. So this must be like a massive cable to transfer power somewhere? Like from some sort of...
Dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
I say, you got a voice change computer. I say. Okay, does this go back underwater? Or something? Because I can't see any more icebergs here. Yes, this does, doesn't it? Yeah, this goes back towards those guys. Okay, let me go get the truck and then we'll come back and we'll explore the other end of this properly. So exciting! Okay, here we go. Also, is it my imagination or have they distinctly improved the visuals underwater in this update? Because this looks a lot better than it did previously. I say, where does this lead? This cable is enormous. I can't imagine the amount of resources that must have gone into its production. I was thinking it would be easier to invent wireless power technology. Oh man, it goes to the rock. Whoa. What's this? It's too narrow for me to get the truck in, but... What's this? What? It's like an ice wall. I can't cut through this, can I? No, okay. What is this? 'Cause I can't move through here. This is like an icy wall. What is this? I'm guessing that is something they're going to expand upon later. You know, they've added this cable in for the aesthetic effect, but they haven't added in the functionality of the area it connects to yet. Is my best assumption anyway. You guys again. I am still freaked out by you. Okay, right. Okay, we're back at our little staging ground on the island, and it's a storm again. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? I don't guess these stuff. Have I? Oh, first aid kit, lovely. Okay, I can't have that PDA. Let me have a look at... Whoa, what's this? What is this one we just get? Oh, these things. Okay, right, this isn't the world's most important thing. Okay, let me... Yes! Yeah, up there. Okay, let me just quickly grab on the snow fox, just because I enjoy riding this thing so much. Oh, it's got a light on the front! I say, I had no idea, because we were driving around during the day before, weren't we? So I didn't actually notice it had a light on the front. I say. Yes, okay, so we have been across this bridge before, but they've changed it now to be more like what the final version will be. I see, so now the bridge is broken. We need to rebuild it maybe? With this? What's this? Hydraulic fluid. What? Attention, check fluid levels. Retract, extend. Requires hydraulic fluid for operation. Oh, so I need to build some fluid and put it in here. Hush, hush, baby girl. I love you to pieces. Creep vine, sea cluster, and gel sacks. Okay, that's not undoable. That is pretty doable. What's this other thing it's saying? Is this something new or not? Oh, the recycler twin is something we already have. Tooltip recycler. Ah, an ion cube and titanium ingot. Well, I used my last ion cube making a battery, so I can't actually build that now. Okay, not that, Phil. Wake up. Okay. Okay, let me run back home, make... How much of this stuff do I need? It looks like I only need one. Okay, I'll go back, I'll make some hydraulic fluid, and then I'll come back with... Oh, they put up a little fence as well. That's cute. Okay, I'll go make some hydraulic fluid, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at this bridge. Yes, you look at this. This is a lot clearer. It's like they've made the water a lot less opaque. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidental movement with the weather or something, but I could absolutely swear that they've changed the water to make it a little bit more visible as to what's going on, which I like personally, because the water was a tiny bit opaque before. I didn't sort of consciously notice it, but now that I've kind of seen the difference, I think this does sort of bring it to a better level with what was visible in original Subnautica. So that's nice. It's nice that we can actually see what's going to kill us now. I suppose you could argue that it takes away a certain level of scariness from, like when we met that great big symbiote monster thingamajig out in the purple vents. You could argue that it makes that a little bit less scary because you can kind of see him a bit better. I would assume anyway. Maybe this is a cleaner area and some of the areas with the big monsters in it have remained opaque. I don't know. I'm not one to argue. I'm not a game designer. I'm not anything. I'm just a twit that has made some of this stuff. Ah. Okie dokie. Bridge control. Extend. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right, now I know we have been across this bridge once before and we did have a look around, but that was
dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
Hush, computer. I'm trying to talk to my audience that I don't have. Right. I know we've been across here once before, but I want to have another look, partly because... Can I retract it? Why would you want to retract it, though? Why do I really need to stop doing that. Why would you want to retract it? Is that to, like, stop snow stalkers from following you there or something? I don't know. So, I know we've been there once before. I don't know if I don't know if anything on this island has changed. This part of the island, rather. I don't know... Oh, that's right. This is where we encountered the ice worm, wasn't it? Okay, right. I remember now. I remember now. Okay, so that's the way we went the first time. I've forgotten how scary the ice worm is. Okay, I haven't even seen it yet. Well, not today anyway. Okay, let's have another quick look around and see if we can find anything else of interest here. Now that we've got this to help us explore around. Oh, what's up here? Ooh, a tunnel. Exciting. Oh man, I know I was swooning over this thing last time, but seriously, this snow fox is amazing. It's so fast, it's so sleek, it's so easy to control. It's just a work of mechanical art. Move, 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 move. Did that fall on me? Because it wasn't a hole in the ground, was it? Oh shit, are you still in one piece? Yeah, I think you're fine. Oh no, you've lost a quarter of your health. Are there like big rocks that are gonna fall on me? Oh sheesh. Man alive, I was sitting there swooning over the machine and ice worms were plotting my death. Oh gosh. Right, what? Okay, it's the back. Okay, the back is store, the front is get on. Okay, that much I can deal with. Can't deal with these avalanches though. Okay, right, let's keep exploring. Let's... What the... Did we see this before? No. No, absolutely not. We didn't see this before. We might have seen something similar, but we definitely didn't see this before. Thumper? What's a thumper?
Blueprint acquired.
What? On this... I was going to say this green earth. It's more of a white earth, if I'm honest. Thumper. Thumps things. Okay, is that like special equipment is required to click through... Oh, I see. Maybe you don't do mining with the exosuits. If the exosuit is even ever going to be put in the game, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe you just use it as a handheld tool then. I see. Fascinating. Always like this, that you can use its engine as a mobile. I cannot press the right buttons on this thing to save my life as a mobile heat source. Its engine is nice and warm and it toasts your belly. Okay, let's see what's down here then. Because I remember we did find a mine like this before, a very small one with some titanium in it. There's so many diamonds down here. Fascinating. Okay, so that brings up an interesting question. Were they mining here to gather resources to allow them to conduct better research, or what's this? Is this just silver? Yeah, okay, well I have this because this is useful. Silver's kind of tricky to find at times. Okay, I mean, were they mining here for resources to help them do their research? Like, oh, we need to build this thing and we need to build it with diamonds. We didn't bring any diamonds, so let's go mining some out. Or did they come here to do research, but also to do mining as well? Because that infrastructure there is quite sizable. I would have imagined that if they can bring that kind of mining equipment in here, they could probably bring in whatever resources they need in order to conduct their research here. So that makes me think that, yeah, there are little avalanches going on all the time, aren't there? That makes me think that they were here for two purposes. Is this just a precipice? Yes, it is just a precipice. Okay, I'm not entirely sure how to get down here, but never mind. Give me a minute, I'll find it. So that tells me that they were here for two purposes. They were here to do research on the indigenous life forms, but they were also here to do mining. They were here for resources as well, which is why all of this equipment is here. And now I come to think of it. Didn't we read some logs that said that the ice worms were causing the miners trouble? Didn't I read that somewhere? Oh gosh. I kind of... Yes, good. This is where we encountered the ice worm the first time. Yes! I want to see it again. I want to get a better look at it and not be quite as scared this time because I can actually run away from it. And I'm going to have a better look around this area as well because we didn't get to explore a lot of this last time. Oh, wow. This is beautiful. I don't know what these great big sort of blue strips are around these pillars. These sort of ice spikes. I don't know what they're all about, but they're quite cool looking. Oh, wow. Oh wow, what is this? This is one of their tunnels, this is one of their tunnels, this is one of their tunnels, this is one of their tunnels. I can sense it, I can sense it, I don't care that I'm spinning in circles. Sheesh. Oh. Sheesh. I know I said I wasn't going to be scared of them, but I don't want to be trapped in an enclosed environment with me and a snow, and an ice worm. Mainly because that is probably going to entail the destruction of this fox. And a very long walk back home. Okay, right, what else is in here? Because this isn't one of theirs, this is a naturally occurring phenomenon. More silver? Yep, I'll have some of that. I said I'll have some of that, please. Okay, never mind, apparently can't have all of that. Oh, wow. This looks more like it was made by an ice worm. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. gosh, I don't want to be in here, do I? No, I really do not want to be in here. Get me out of here. Oh, sheesh, I'm scared. Hold me. Okay. This is exciting. This is very exciting. I didn't realise how much more there was here that I just didn't observe before because I was crying with fear. It really is beautiful. Beautiful bit of landscaping they've done here. And it's all oh, not that! Oh, sheesh. Sorry, I was trying to show you the cool thing and I pressed all the wrong buttons. Oh, sheesh. Okay, so the ice worm is around. The ice worm is not happy about me existing. Okay, that's into... Is that into, like, the crevice underneath it, I would assume? Spawn nearby failed. What are you talking about? Okay, never mind that for the time being. That's not irrelevant. Let's just go down these ladders and see what's down here. Oh, okay, so this is another tunnel with yet more sulfur in it. Anything else in here? No. Okay, I'm leaving. Sheesh. Man, you could build a subway system with one of those creatures. Just give it a map and a carrot in front of its nose and it'd be absolutely fine. Okay, I think this is where we went before. Yeah, that's where we went before when we encountered our first snowstalker after we just encountered the ice worm for the first time. What's up there? There's something weird up there. I want to look at it. Oh, God. I don't like these noises. These noises frighten me. Man, this place is gorgeous. Let me just gobble up some dinners. Oh god. There we are, that's it. A little easier for you to see. Okay, so there's some resources up here, but not much else. Okay, this is probably just a little supply area to try and save you should you have had a nasty run-in with Mr. Wormy Face. Oh, man. Is this... Because I've been... Did I write it down? Yeah, I did. The bridge to the Arctic Spires. That's what this area... I think that's what this area is called. The Arctic Spires. So I'm not too terribly familiar with the names of the biomes in the island, but I think this is the Arctic Spires. It would make sense because these are spires. I think anyway. Okay, right. Put that down. Get on it. Get in that cave system and pray to whoever you believe in that thing isn't in here. What is that? I mean, it's obviously precursor tech, but what particularly is it? Oh god, I don't like these noises. This is the other end of the cable. What the? Ooh. Excellent, another purple fragment. Good, that means we'll be a bit closer to building this thing. Yes. Oh, come on, it'll take me all day to build that thing at this rate. Oh, stop making those noises. Okay. I'm frankly gonna keep moving. Oh gosh, I got stuck on something. Oh, move! Sorry, I panic a lot, particularly in circumstances such as this. Okay, we haven't been this way before. Oh, okay, this just leads you back out to the spires. I don't like those noises. I don't like them one little bit. I'm leaving, alright? I'm leaving your territory, I'm leaving your home, I am just leaving, full stop. I'm coming back to the bridge. And I've had enough of him. Okay, so we had a better explore of the Arctic Spires area. We saw the bridge. We built ourselves a new resource. Oh gosh. We decreased my heart's life expectancy by about a few years, I'd guess. This is fantastic though. This is fantastic. I love this. I love what they're doing with this game. And I love this as well. This thing is amazing. Right, okay. Let me... I can't pick this up, can I? No, okay. I'm guessing this area is kind of reloaded somehow. Sort of respawned. Which is why there was something in that box. But that's why I can't pick up those. Okay, yeah, I reckon... Maybe that was the other end of the cable? Perhaps? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's a different cable, I don't know. I also have kind of forgotten where that purple tablet was meant to go, because I know we found a force field somewhere where we needed the purple tablet to put it in, but we've only found 2 of the 4 fragments for it yet. I don't know. Maybe the idea is like that is like the next big stage of the story, and you have to explore certain different areas of the world first and develop a map precursor tech first before you're able to go in there, so that you can access that area quite early. You can't actually get in through the door. You've got to do a lot more exploring on the island first. I would assume that is what they're doing currently. I would assume so anyway. Right, let's get back to base, and then I am going to go back to the purple vents area over there and have a better look round sort of further beyond it, now that we can go down a lot deeper, because previously we couldn't. Because I want to have a better look around that area, because I want to see what's on the far side of it, because that is I think it's quite a distance. It's like over a kilometre away from our base, I think. So I want to see just I want to see what's on the far side of it. Oh, here we are, the Thumper. Okay, this doesn't require many resources. I mean, we can't use it because we're obviously not going to the island to mine anything out, but I am kind of curious to see what it looks like. So just out of curiosity, instead of we've done, you know, well, I don't know if this is a new thing or not. I don't know whether the Thumper was in the game before. I would imagine it would be in the patch notes if they said. If it wasn't. Thumper. Thumps things. Can I use it to, like, fend off muggers and stuff? Oh! It's not a tool at all. I see. Okay. So, I presume you literally build this on the island. Oh, it's tiny. I see. I would assume you literally build this on the island in order to actually mine stuff out. I see. Fascinating. Okay. Well, that'll be an objective for later then, to see if we can investigate this thing a bit more and find out just what is going on with this Thumper and see if we can actually mine ourselves out some resources, because we don't have an immediate need for things like diamonds. The supplies of gold, the supplies of silver rather, are fantastic, and if we found some supplies of gold out there as well, I would be all over that, because gold is really valuable for making computer chips and advanced wiring kits, which go into the more complicated construction. So if we could find some more gold, we could find a little mining of that would be fantastic. But for the time being, I don't think we're going to need it. What I assume, how I assume it will work is you would find a deposit of those resources, like those diamonds that we found on that little base. Yeah, this is a lot less opaque. I much prefer this way of looking at things. I would assume you find like those diamonds that we saw on that small platform, and then you put the Thumper onto it. It then breaks it down into smaller pieces that you can then carry, and then you can mine it out, and then you take it away. You take it off the resources after you're done with it, after you've mined them all out, and then you can either refill a battery or put it onto some more. Fascinating. I'm so... Oh, they've added the schools of featherfish. They're beautiful. Either that or I was just so dumb I didn't see that they were there before. One or the other, but both are quite likely, and I've lost the beacon. Where's the beacon gone? Where's the... Oh, there it is. Blind as a badger. Right, okay, never mind, sorry. But no, I would assume that's how the Thumper works. Oh, those are gorgeous. Those are really gorgeous. I never realised it before, but purple is a colour that really wasn't in the original Subnautica, so I'm glad they brought it into this one. Because Subnautica has always been a colourful game. You know, these underwater alien life places. I'm not good with words. has always been very bright. Like if you see the coral reefs on Earth, they're always very bright, and I'm really glad that they brought that brightness, those bright colours into Subnautica and into this game as well, and done even more with it. Like these big green areas and all the purple areas and all that kind of stuff. It's really lovely to see. Not to mention, of course, the bright colours usually are nice things, you know, like flowers and puppies and things. So it kind of lulls you into false sense of security. Think, oh, isn't this nice? And then you see something like that, and suddenly you're a bit scared. I know I promised to stop banging on about how much I adore this game, but seriously, what shocks me about this game... Oh, that's a piece of rock. Sorry. It's early access, remember? Obviously, there was an update today. Well, last night. What amazes me about this game, beyond all else, okay, so we've passed by that lily pad area, is that, as I said before, games try to do one thing well. And many games are afraid of trying to do more than one thing well. We reached the edge of the map. I don't like this. It's just a precipice into darkness. Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. There is... Where did the music go? Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes. Oh, it's like a great big staircase. Most games try to do one thing well, and they're afraid of trying to do too much well at once in case of... Okay, I'm guessing this area hasn't been fully developed yet. In case of sort of overreaching themselves and then ending up not doing anything well. This game has managed to do the virtually impossible and do almost everything. It's got wonderful sound design, the music is beautiful, the landscapes are designed amazingly, the creatures are lovely. Well, in terms of their design, they're lovely. In terms of everything else, they're terrifying beyond all measure. Oh, gosh. I'm just afraid I'm sort of swimming into something's mouth or something. Oh, gosh, yeah, I'm guessing this area has not been fully developed because it's very, very empty. Let's just go back up. Oh, gosh. We could literally be swimming into the open maw of a great big shark right now and we wouldn't know. Oh, dear. But that's what really impresses me about this game. Not just what it is, but what it demonstrates. It demonstrates a real communication between varying departments, which is something that is so often lacking in games. You'll see games and it'll seem as if one group of designers and another group of designers were working on the same project, but they never talk to each other. In this, it seems completely different. In this, it seems like the people who were designing the creatures were also talking to the people who were designing the landscapes, in order so that everything would sort of meld together in a big, sort of beautiful, happy family. Yeah, that's the end of the world. Okay, so that puts a great big hole in my "the island goes all the way around" theory. Okay, so that's the end of that theory then. Now that we've got the Zito though, we could actually go all the way around the island and see what's really there, so I might do that then, since there's not much here. But no, this game really demonstrates that all of the developers were in the same mindset, and they all had the same priority, and they all communicated with each other in order to make something that really molds together. But like if you were making a tapestry, you couldn't have one person doing this much tapestry, another person doing that much tapestry, another person doing that much tapestry, and each individual person doing a handful of threads, but they're never talking to each other, or else they wouldn't line up. One person would be drawing Harold with an arrow in his eye, and the next guy would be drawing a Anubis, and it would just make absolutely no sense. But when they're communicating with each other, and when they've all got the same idea, and they're all pushing towards the same thing, it really generates such a better product. And I think possibly one of the reasons for that occurring here is because it's such a small studio. I don't know for definite, so do not quote me on this, but I think Unknown Worlds is less than 200 people working in time. I think it's less than 200 people, which obviously makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier for 200 people to communicate with each other than it is for 2,000 people to communicate with each other. So possibly that is one of the reasons why. I wonder if that's the greenhouse they're talking about. Oh, the word we're a long way away from anything we're familiar with. Oh, at least the wild. Not sure if that makes me happy or nervous, if I'm honest. Okay, is there an access point to the island? Yeah, this looks like it. Yeah, this seems doable. So yeah, that is one of the things that has recently struck me about why I love this game so much. It's just it's a perfect and beautiful demonstration of what potential games have when the developers work together to generate a sort of a shared project. But I don't. Maybe I'm talking rubbish. Maybe people who are actually involved in game design know far more. Actually, they do know far more than me. So maybe I'm talking rubbish. Maybe I don't know what I'm on about. Feel free to ignore everything I've ever said in my entire life because I'm a total twit. Okay, right. Let's find the way up and let's find out what this big building is, wherever it's gone. Where is it? Ah, it's up there. Okay. Okay, this seems very reachable. Very obtainable. So glad I got the snowsuit as well. This would have been such a trek without it. Yes, this must be it. Yes, because look, it's got all glass at the top. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, what are these? Honeycomb plants. Okay. Anything about these? No, they look kind of freaky though. Okay, what's this? Abandoned PDA. I'd rather be hunting leviathans. Oh. I'm surprised she would try to garden. Locked? Do I need to, like, cut this open? Oh no, don't tell me I can't go in. There's got to be a way in. Come on, don't do this to me.
Dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
Hush, computer, I love you, but you're not piping up at the right moment for me. How do you get in? How can it be locked? Oh no. What? What? What is this? So, hang on a minute, I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay. Okay, this is locked. How do we get in here? I'm guessing... Okay, so let me bring my thoughts together instead of just butchering about rubbish that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the player character clearly knows who this person is. How do you pronounce this name? Marguerite? I don't know. I've probably horribly butchered that name, but we're rolling with Marguerite for the time being, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that is a mispronunciation. I am terrible with names. Okay, so this player character clearly knows who this gardener is because they said, "I'm surprised they tried to garden." What? What is going on? What? Okay. So they clearly know who they are, so they must have been another one of the researchers that was on this planet, and they were actually doing some gardening. Okay, that's weird. Okay, what is this? On behalf of Zeta Landon, robotics section leader, yes, I regret to inform you of the death of Samantha. She died on the planet, regrettably as a result of injuries sustained in an accident arising from her own negligence. Please allow me to communicate my most profound condolences to the loss of your sister. While further details are unavailable at this time, you will receive contact from the Department of Insurance and Recuperation concerning your responsibilities as next of kin with regards to payment of damages and legal fees. If you have any questions, you may file form blah blah blah, and your query will be addressed in sequential order. That's why they haven't come to rescue me. They think I'm dead. They think I died in the crash. I see. Is this... I reckon this is me. What?
Robin, guess what? I got it!
Oh!
The extraplanetary mission to 4546b? Did you forget? Or you think it's silly because Altera...
No! Congrats! This is great! Now you'll be able to...
improve the mechanical avian amphibian under real-world stress conditions?
Yay!
Alright, I know your stance on Altera already. So, can you watch Augie while I'm away?
You mean Potato?
Why do you call him that?
It's his true name. Everyone knows the best cat names are food-derived. He's the best cat, and potatoes are the best food. So it follows that...
I'll find someone else.
I'd be honored to do it.
Aww. Where did all these come from? Have these just been added in at some
Earth
point?
to Sam. Hello. Come in, Sam.
Will you ever tire of that joke?
I'm already tired of it. But I'm committed to saying it every time until you come home.
How's my little ultraviolet?
Well, our darling potato pod is doing great. Sending a photo.
Yay. Oh, he looks happy.
And what about you? You sound happy.
Yeah, things are going really well.
It's my
Our
potato
project has
cat.
a new name. Say goodbye to the mechanical avian amphibian and hello to spy penguins. We're training the bots to mimic the creatures.
I see the photo. It's amazing.
And I think I'm kind of seeing someone.
You found a date on a water planet.
Maybe it's nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's really not a thing, but anyway.
You're happy. I'm glad you're happy.
And what about you?
Oh, well, there's rumblings that Xenoworks is out of cash. I'm trying not to think about it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Anyway, glad things are good with you. I have to get going. Cal's waiting on me for a report.
Oh, okay. Well, bye then, baby sis. Love you.
I see. Okay, so I'm Sam, and I'm the researcher on this planet who's been working with the penguins and working with the spy penguins. And Robin is my sister, who has just been informed, apparently, right? Yes, Sam is dead, except I'm not dead. So that is my objective. That is my objective of the story. I need to tell the people that I'm not dead and get back to my sister. Okay, right, we'll listen to one more. We'll listen to them all, or else it'll take forever. We'll listen to one more, and then we'll
Earth to Sam.
get back to stuff.
Yeah, right here. Please, tell me something fun.
Potato is mad I changed his litter. Altera wants to buy Xenoworks. None of that is super fun. What's wrong? You sound down.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing. My spy penguins, they did their job. They found something. Big. But the company is just like, nothing to see here.
Typical Altera.
Is that supposed to be helpful?
Well, you have to admit,
No. It's like from the beginning, you've been rooting for this mission to fail.
I have not.
Yeah, you have. Your work isn't going great, and I'm sorry about that. But you get so sulky and sarcastic and blame everyone but yourself, and you're...
Excuse me, I am not.
Yeah, you do. I've just been counting down the minutes until somehow it's Altera's fault that you don't know what to do with your life and Xenoworks doesn't manage this.
All right then, goodbye.
You can't just cut me off.
I see. I see, so we're having something of a strained relationship. Okay, this is a short one. Okay, we can listen
Hey,
to this one.
Robin. Sam to Earth. Guess you're not around. Look, I'm sorry our last chat ended so badly. I've been under a lot of stress. Let's see. Work has been pretty worrying. I tried to do something good, and I guess no one else saw it like I did. Sound familiar? I'm not sure what's going on with anything. I can't really talk about it either. Oh, and I'm definitely not dating anyone on the water planet. I don't know what I was thinking there. Did you know that as well as being wet, it's also a really cold planet? Feel pretty frozen out of everything here. Well, anyway, I know you're still mad at me, but I could really use a friend. You're my sister. I love you. I'm sorry.
That is so sad. Hush, computer. Hush, computer. That's so sad.
Robin, look, I know you're still mad, and that's fine. Take as long as you need. I guess I just really need someone to know. I'm afraid something terrible is going to happen. You were right about Altera, okay? You were right. I was wrong. And the cat should be called Potato. I admit it. Bad attempt at a joke. I don't know what to do. If you hear this, please get in touch. It's important.
Wow. Okay, so. Sheesh, this has been a voyage of discovery like I was not expecting to be. Okay, so. So we did find the greenhouse. We didn't get access to it. I don't know how you get access to it. I can only assume you find some sort of a key. Perhaps you have to track down this gardener. I'm going to keep calling her the gardener, actually, because while those messages were going on, I had another pondering about how I'm supposed to pronounce the name, and I'm pretty sure it's not Marguerite, because that just sounds like margarine with a T stuck on the end. So could you get back on land where you belong? You stalking, smelly person. Right, anyway. Yes, okay, so I'm going to call her the gardener because I think that's less offensive than me butchering her name every time. Okay, so that explains a lot about this story. So, me and my sister had a breakdown in our relationship while I was on this planet. And then, along with the creature that they found and then they locked off, they hid away that we found, that we were taking one of those sea truck logs, I think it was. They found a big creature frozen in the ice and then the company locked it off. I reckon that's what's behind that force field that we need the purple tablet to get into. Which, oh, please don't assault me, not again. So, that explains a lot about this story. That means that Altera has been doing some shady stuff. They're probably trying to profit from the... Do you mind? I'm trying to talk about stuff and things. So I would assume that Altera is trying to profit from it. Perhaps they're either scared of the publicity that will come from the discovery of this ice creature, or they're trying to profit from the technology in that these architects and the precursors have developed, perhaps. Which confuses me a little bit, because they're clearly very aware of the planet that the first Subnautica was set on, because we saw in the first base that we discovered on the island, we saw a picture of the Sea Emperor. So they clearly know that that planet exists. They're clearly aware of what went on that planet, and they were aware of the disease that was there and how it was cured by the protagonist of first Subnautica. So they're aware of all of that, which perhaps tells me that they came to this planet, possibly with the research on the spy penguins being a ruse. They were saying, oh yeah, we're going to come and do some research on the aquatic life forms. But really, they knew there was more precursor tech here, and they came here to look for it, to investigate it, and to profit from it. Possibly. And that's why they're doing all of these strange, shifty things.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
These strange, shifty things in relation to, into the things that the researchers found. The researchers found something odd, and the Altera are hiding it because they want to profit from it, but they don't want the researchers to find out. Which is a very much more in-depth story than the first one had. And, the story had a brilliant story, but it was a relatively simple story. There's a disease, it's quarantined, you've got to cure the disease so you can get back home. This is a lot more in-depth, and this is very interesting. I'm very, very curious to see how much further the story is currently available. I don't know how much of the story is available. I don't even know if you can build the purple tablet currently. I would assume that, as I said before, the 4 fragments are spread out in different areas, and you have to find them all, which helps you explore the world that they've built, and then that allows you to get on with the main bit of the story. Or possibly that's the end of the story when you get into that, I don't know. But this is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I'm going to do a bit of research into the greenhouse. I'm going to see how you get in there. I would assume you need to track down this gardener, find more of her logs. I'm going to find like a key or a password or something that allows you to get in there, so that we can get in there and we can explore the floral part, should we say, of the Salad Days update. That's really exciting. We saw some more of the ice worm, which is very fun. So, thank you very much for joining me for this voyage of discovery. Hope you enjoyed it. Look after each other, have fun, and goodbye.